So part one of this process is just a really rough sketch. This is a video of that sketch and its completion. It's always quite messy. I really just want to establish the energy of the snowman, get the general idea of the animation out, sort of setting the stage for the rest of things, and to get the pacing down especially. It's not very palatable, but it exists. It's there. It's helpful. And then we have part two of my process, which is color and sort of polishing the animation. This is the only video I have of that completed process, so I apologize for that. I wanted to have a very nice blue, snowy color. I wanted it to have a very painterly feel as well. This is sort of just the step where I'm making things more presentable. It always takes the longest, and in my opinion, it can be the least fun, but also the most fun, really depending on where you are in the big process, because in the beginning, it's quite entertaining, it's very enjoyable, but the further you go on into it, it can become very mundane and monotonous. So yeah, it's really, it could go either way. There's not much to this one, mostly just coloring stripes on scarves and shading, but it is fun. I wanted to have a very painterly feel to this animation so that it would be more fluid and lifelike and sort of bounce off of the screen. I wanted to draw a lot of attention to the snowman, so I used very bright colors in all of his animation and contrasting colors as well, just to give him a more vibrant feeling. I really like this frame. That's my favorite frame. He's just a lump, a sad lump of snow. R.I.P. Mr. Snowman 2021. But yeah, not a lot to this process, really just drawing the same thing over and over and over and over again. This one was only, say, 15 frames maybe, so it wasn't that bad, but it's interesting. The next frame is definitely my favorite one, because it's a bit of a change in perspective. The scarf moves around a bit, which, wow, very, very exciting, I'm sure, but it was fun to draw. I really like this frame. And then we have our part 3, which is just refining things. I realized that the snow needed to be around the snowman. The snowman could not just exist without any snow around him. So I had a lot of trouble with that. I really struggled with how I was presenting the snow. I gave him a little mound of snow to sit on, but then I was also thinking there should be snow around the snowman on the ground. So I tried that, and I was going to do a thing where I just decreased the opacity, but that did not work very well. It looked very bad, very ugly, if I do say so myself. So I just tanked that. I decided against it, and instead sort of just kept the snow there, which doesn't make a lot of sense because if the snowman is melting, that snow would also melt, but we're going to ignore that, and it's magical. It's magical. Now we have part 4, which is just the final environment and some other small tweaks, animations. I wanted to give the snowman a nice little wave so that the viewer would have emotional attachment to him, because if he just melted, they'd be like, okay, snowman melted. And then I started painting in the rest of the background, which wasn't a lot of work. I did adjust the colors a little bit because I wanted them to be very mute and unnoticeable so that the snowman would really stand out. I didn't want to take any attention away from him. I was going to add a fence, but then I tanked it because it was also ugly and I did not enjoy the colors, and it took attention away from the ocean where the little smiley face would be. I was going to do it in blue originally because it felt like it fit better, but I ended up doing it in white because you have that color attachment between the blue of the snowman and the light blue of the water. I was also going to add a wave, but then I figured that's a little repetitive, A, and B, without the wave is a little more ominous, and I like that. So I just deleted the wave, and then I added my little end sequence, and that was really the main animating part of this. But then I had to go back. I had this whole problem with how there was white under the bushes when it shouldn't have been there. I didn't want any color there because it really made it hard to pay attention to the snowman. So this is just me going through and trying to find a way to fix that over and over again, frame by frame, changing the frame rate, seeing if it's a problem with just the exporting. It did take a little while, and this pause is just me Googling how to fix that. I think I spent maybe a good 5 minutes Googling that. It didn't help. I figured it out on my own eventually. You can see me erasing things frame by frame here. It did take a little while. I would say this took much longer than it should have. I definitely made this more difficult. And then I went in and I turned off the night shifting where they take away blue light from your device because I was worried that the colors would be entirely different and really ugly, and they weren't, which was good. I'm not really sure what the point of that was because there's not much you can do at this point if the colors are different, but they were fine, which is great. I have a picture of my dogs there just to protect privacy, so enjoy the picture of my dogs. And then I turned it back on because it makes my eyes hurt to look at my screen without it. I don't know. And just did a couple of final polishings. I had to go back and edit a layer because I sketched under it instead of adding a different layer, which pains me. I didn't fix that all the way, and then I exported and we're done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope your day goes well, and if you'd like to see more animation videos, you can watch them right there. Goodbye!